Hello, my friends. Welcome to Here's What We Know, the 10-minute live stream. It's the 10 at 10 on Wednesdays, and we just try to have a little fun and catch up with you. I've been excited about getting this guy on forever because I heard about the Dash Gordon Foundation, and I'm like, oh, well, will you talk to me? And surprisingly, he's one of the few who said, yeah,
Absolutely.
sure, I'll talk to you. I've got nothing better to do other than try to change people's lives and do everything I can. But no, I've got 10 minutes for you, hot dog. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, man. Excited to be on this morning and been waiting. I know it's been weeks and it's been weeks in the works. So I'm finally glad we're at this point.
Well, I was just telling you because he was going, "Do you play the guitar?" And I'm like, "No, I don't play the guitar. I wish I played the guitar, but I don't. I could not strum that thing if I had to. But I've been in country music for years, and so that's a Miranda Lambert guitar, and that's a Tim McGraw signed guitar.
That's
Because
awesome.
if you have a studio, you just can't have a blank wall anymore, as you can tell by behind you.
Yes, that's true. So there's stuff everywhere.
You got to have a little bit. So tell me how this started because I want you to tell me how it started and then tell me, well, maybe you should start. Tell me the mission of the Dash Gordon Foundation
So
and then tell me how it
the
started.
mission of the Dash Gordon Foundation is really simple. We stimulate and build awareness in special needs, disabilities, and all at-risk communities. And when I mean all at-risk communities, I mean human trafficking, domestic violence, suicide prevention and awareness, animal rescue, veterans, foster care services. We work with all of these different organizations within Galveston and Harris County in the Houston area, and it's starting to spread even further. So I mean, it's that's really what we do. That's our mission.
See, now that's one of the reasons because I'm in San Jose, California. Otherwise known, if you ever hear the term Silicon Valley,
I do.
that's San Jose.
I,
So
I, I
we've got the Google, we've got the Amazon, we've got the Nvidia, we've got you think of a high tech company, it's here.
sure.
And that's so I'm excited about this idea. How did you get it started?
So in 2021, late 2021, my wife was pretty ill, and I wanted to take her on just one big last vacation. And I decided to DoorDash. I didn't have to, but I just decided it would be good to get her out of the house. We could do some things. So I started DoorDash, and I didn't like the fact that people wouldn't come to the door. It really bothered me. So I'm sitting in my office late March, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna change the game with this. So I bought a Flash costume from like Spirit Halloween, just some real rinky dink costume. I had my wife put on their Dash Gordon, and I debuted in April 18th of 2022, riding around as a door dasher in this crazy costume, waving at people, putting laughter and smiles on people's faces. And it was a huge hit. People were going crazy. So then I was sitting in my office, and a young lady on Facebook puts, she needs some help. She's a single mom. She's raising a 2-year-old. She lives in government housing. She couldn't buy food. She needed diapers and wipes and things like that for her baby. So I put in the Talk of League City, Dash Gordon to the rescue. So I put the costume on. I went around my neighborhood knocking on doors. I raised money to get her the things that she needed to get her through the rest of the month. And the city of League City got wind of it. When they did a 2-day documentary about me that they posted, and it went viral. Well, once that happened, organizations started reaching out and said, hey, will you come over here and put smiles on people's faces? Will you come over here to the foster care, domestic violence center? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I'd put on my costume and I'd go. Well, then ABC gets word of it. So they do a story about me. Houston Channel 11 does a story about me. The Michael Berry Show does a story about me. Fox News does a story about it. It just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing. And then I just kept doing it. And then late November of 2022, I wanted to create this amazing dance for individuals with special needs and disabilities because I was tired of seeing the gym thing, pizza. So I created the first ever Dash Gordon winter formal, and it was a huge success. That got on the waves and people saw it. And then a local bank reached out and said, look, we love what you're doing. Are you a non-for-profit? I'm like, I don't even know what that is. They said, we want to help you with it. February of 2023, the Dash Gordon Foundation was birthed, and we are a full-fledged non-for-profit serving all of the communities that we serve.
And how do you raise money?
So really, to be honest with you, we don't really ask. People see what we do, and they just have been giving us money left and right. We do have some sponsorship things when we do, like we have a big pageant coming up. Last year, we created the first ever Miss Universe pageant for 36 special needs and disabled women. It was a huge hit. We had Kendra Scott sponsored with some big sponsors, and it was amazing. And we're doing our second one this year. Well, the second one this year, more people wanted to get involved. So we've got some bigger sponsors that bought some tables to pay for the pageant. Mainly the money that we take in is just to continue doing what we're doing because it's all on a volunteer basis. I have a full-time job that I do Monday through Friday as a corporate trainer for a very large company called Cox Automotive. And I do Dash Gordon 35, 40 hours a week. And we provide all kinds of services. And people give us money because they love what we do.
Oh my God. Isn't it wonderful how people rush to help when they think you're doing something? I mean, that's what I love about the United States. I really do, is that we can talk about the bad things. We can talk about the division and all this other stuff. But the truth of it is, on a person to person level, when somebody knows you're trying to do something worthwhile, they can't get there fast enough to help.
That's true.
That's true. And to know that, has this always been on your heart, or is this just something that just, I mean, was this,
so,
I mean, have you always been this way? Have you always, and
no.
again, you're the wrong person to ask. I'm sure if I was to ask your wife, she'd be like, yeah,
no, it's Gary, behind me, 3 books have been published about Dash Gordon. The proceeds go, an author wrote 3 books. I had my own shoe. I have a Dash Gordon Dunk. It grew. I have a Pop Funko. It just grew and it grew and it grew. And I've Cosplay in America. They follow. They put me on their national website. I partnered with the #1 hospital in the state of Texas, Houston Methodist. We have 31 business partners that help us with anything that we need, food or resources to be able to help the communities that we serve. In this run of all of this happening, the publicity, all of the things that have happened, the things that we've done, I never called a single person. I never intended for any of this to happen. It grew organically. I tried to hire a social media company to help me with my social media. They called me and said, we can't take your money. I said, why? They said, because you're not paying for any advertising on Google or Yahoo, and you've been searched over 30 million times organically on your own. We can't take your money. You don't need us. You don't need us. So we stay driven. My board and my vice president and my secretary and treasurer, I mean, we're so driven to give these young adults and these people with disabilities and special needs just a huge voice. And, we work with the veterans as well because they're underserved, man. I mean, we give money to all these other places, but these individuals, veterans, domestic violence victims, animal rescue, special needs, disabilities, I mean, we can't do enough. There's just so much more that we can do. And so we're giving this group a huge voice. Now, the general consensus of the parents of what the Dash Gordon Foundation does is we've actually made having a disability really cool.
Wow. Listen, I have, when I first found out about this, I was like, he's doing what? How's he doing that? Where did that even idea come from? And now that I've heard the rest of your story, it's, when do you sleep?
Almost never. And then on top of that, I promote the only functioning special needs cover band in the country, the Skittles. We started their Texas tour at the beginning of the year. These guys were just out doing their thing and people were taking advantage of them. They're so great. So I met with the families and said, look, you guys can get paid. You're good. And so we started a Texas tour and they're playing and selling out places left and right. The second half of their tour starts at the end of August.
So when does that go nationwide? So when do you start expanding? Maybe a couple of gigs in Arizona, maybe so in Oklahoma. Then we go to Nevada, and all of a sudden, bang, you're in California.
Their videos have gone viral on my TikTok in the millions, 1.5 million, 1.6. People from all over the country are seeing the Skittles and seeing the things that they can do. I mean, they're selling out the places that we've booked for them. They're getting a check from it, which is fantastic, and able to put these things in trust funds so that these boys can prepare for their future. And they're starting to gain national notoriety. It's fantastic to watch.
You are truly the best thing there is about social media. I mean, come on, really, what did you do with TikTok in 2020, 2019? Did you even know what it was? Were you on it?
I wasn't even really on it.
That crazy?
I really wasn't. And all of my social media is not self-serving. What my social media is intended to do, show the world that yes, they have a disability, Down syndrome, autism, IDD, whatever it is. but then also showcase the talent that they've been given that most of us can't even do, and show the world, yeah, they got a disability, but they can do something even greater than most of us can ever do. We create, and where we're really showcasing it is we created something very unique a year ago. We created the first farmers market for individuals with disabilities and special needs called the Dash Gordon Heroes Market. We've got about 35 to 40 vendors, and they're starting to showcase within the area these vendors and everything that they can do, everything they make, everything they paint, everything they draw, everything they bake. And people are coming out in droves and supporting these young adults and buying all of their stuff. It's unbelievable.
Wow. And so, and now, like when you're saying, as you're starting to expand, you're going to have people who reach out and want to, hey, can we do that here?
Mm-hmm.
Can we do this here in Oklahoma? Can we do it here in Alabama?
It's definitely growing way more than I ever thought. I never thought it. Almost 60 years old. That this 2 years, and I'll tell you something. It's been the most beautiful, magical 2 years of my entire life.
And how's your lovely wife?
She's doing much better. She's doing much better. I think a lot of this has healed her internally.
Amen.
And she's feeling really great. And she cries all the time, and she's not crying because she's sad. She's crying because everything that we're doing is so beautiful, and you can't help but cry happy tears. It's amazing.
I hope everybody who gets a chance to see this, I hope you can feel the joy that I feel. You have inspired me, young man.
Thanks, Gary.
Because it's and to know that you felt this need to just connect with people, mm-hmm. and that need to connect. You're trying to get them to come out to take their food and not just leave it on the front door.
That's right.
And all of a sudden, it is turned into something that I know you couldn't have imagined it, because I couldn't have imagined. Who could have imagined that?
It's been pretty crazy.
Good luck to you. And it's the dashgordonfoundation.org. And guys, check it out and look it up. And we have dear friends who have special needs children. And that's the thing. You're seeing them. Just because there's a disability doesn't mean there's not a human there.
Right.
Wow, what a fun time. Thank you so much. This has been just a delight. And I'm not going to take you any longer, because you may be the busiest man I know.
Just a little bit. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Gary.